Breaking news tonight, the U.S. government shutdown is sending shockwaves across global markets.
Imagine one morning you wake up and the world's most powerful country, the United States of America, is shut down. Government offices closed, salaries frozen, millions of federal workers left waiting. Sounds unreal, right? But this is exactly what's happening in October 2025. In today's video, we'll break down what exactly a government shutdown means, why it's happening again, and how it's shaking America's economy and the world. Before we dive into the chaos of 2025, let's first understand what a government shutdown actually means, because surprisingly many Americans don't fully know how serious it really is. In the United States, the government runs on something called a federal budget, a detailed plan of how much money will be spent on everything, from national defense to education, healthcare, infrastructure, and even paying federal employees. Every year, Congress, which includes the House of Representatives and the Senate, must agree on this budget and pass funding bills before the deadline. These bills then go to the president for approval. But if Congress fails to pass those bills on time, the government literally runs out of legal authority to spend money. That's when a shutdown begins. It's not that the government has no money in the bank. It's that they're not allowed to use it. The law doesn't permit federal agencies to spend or operate without Congress's approval. As a result, all non-essential government functions are forced to close. So what exactly counts as non-essential? Think about museums, national parks, environmental research, small business loans, and visa or passport services all go dark. Meanwhile, essential services, like the military, law enforcement, and air traffic control, keep running. But here's the shocking part. Many of those workers don't get paid until the shutdown ends. Imagine protecting your country, flying planes, or guarding borders, while your paycheck is on hold. That's the harsh reality for millions of Americans every time this happens. Over the last few decades, the US has seen more than 20 shutdowns, but each one comes with growing political division and a bigger price tag. And in 2025, it's no different, except this time, the stakes are even higher. Now that we know what a government shutdown is, let's talk about why it's happening again in 2025, and what's really going on behind the scenes in Washington. To put it simply, this isn't just about money. It's about power, priorities, and politics. In October 2025, the US government officially entered shutdown mode because Congress failed to agree on a new spending plan. The House of Representatives, currently controlled by Republicans, passed a version of the budget with deep spending cuts. They argued that the government has been overspending for too long, driving inflation higher and pushing America deeper into debt. Their proposal redirected billions toward border security, defense, and law enforcement, claiming it's time to put America first and tighten the belt on unnecessary programs. But on the other side, the Democrat-led Senate refused to accept that plan. They accused Republicans of targeting social programs, things like healthcare, education, environmental protection, and aid for low-income families. Democrats insisted that cutting these budgets would hurt ordinary Americans at a time when living costs are already high, and so began the standoff. Back-and-forth negotiations failed, deadlines were missed, and the White House, led by President Biden's administration, found itself stuck in the middle, unable to sign a deal that both sides could agree on. Some lawmakers even admitted privately that they didn't expect the fight to go this far. But once the political lines were drawn, neither party wanted to look weak. Republicans said, "We won't fund reckless spending." Democrats said, "We won't let you destroy social safety nets." And so the clock ran out. Midnight struck. Federal funding expired, and America officially went dark once again. The frustrating truth is that shutdowns like this are often less about fixing the economy and more about sending a message, showing voters that one side is fighting for them. But the people who suffer most aren't politicians. They're the ordinary workers, families, and small businesses left waiting for Washington to act. Behind all the political drama and speeches in Washington, there are real people, millions of them, quietly paying the price. The 2025 shutdown isn't just a headline. It's a paycheck that never arrived, a rent bill that can't be paid, a mother wondering how she'll feed her kids next week. More than 2 million federal employees and contractors have been directly hit by this shutdown. Some have been furloughed, told to stay home, unpaid, until the government reopens. Others, considered essential, are still showing up for work, protecting airports, guarding borders, delivering mail, but doing it without a paycheck. Imagine wearing your uniform every morning, serving your country with pride, and still checking your bank account, only to see zero. That's the reality right now for air traffic controllers, TSA officers, and federal security staff. Across the country, the effects are spreading. National parks are closed, tourists turned away, local businesses losing income. Small businesses that rely on government contracts are struggling to stay open. Federal benefits like food assistance, loans, and housing aid are being delayed. It's not just about politics anymore, it's about survival. Economists estimate that every week the government stays shut down, the US economy loses billions of dollars. Consumer spending drops, government projects freeze, and America's reputation as a stable economic power takes another hit. The irony is, the longer the shutdown continues, the more expensive it becomes to recover. For every day of delay, it could take weeks, even months, to get back on track. Yet, while families line up at food banks and small businesses close their doors, the political gridlock in Washington continues. Ordinary Americans are left asking the same painful question. When will someone in power finally listen? While Americans are feeling the pressure at home, the rest of the world is watching closely. From Europe to Asia, global media are calling this shutdown a warning sign for the US economy. International investors are worried. Stock markets have shown volatility, and the dollar has faced short-term dips as confidence weakens. China's state media called it a crisis of political maturity, while European outlets questioned whether America can still lead by example. Even allies are nervous, because when Washington stops functioning, global trade and security discussions slow down too. The world is learning one simple truth. When the US government shuts down, it doesn't just affect Americans, it shakes the entire world economy. So what happens next? In Washington, both parties continue to blame each other. But the truth is, the clock is ticking. Every day the government stays shut down, the economy weakens, trust fades, and ordinary people lose hope. Eventually, a deal will come. It always does. But the real question is, at what cost? Because when politics becomes a battlefield, the victims are never the politicians, they're the people. The shutdown may end, but the damage to faith in leadership, that takes much longer to repair. Maybe it's time America asked itself, not who to blame, but how to build something better.